To start out today, we're going to go to wiggle.net and do a little bit of open source intelligence in order to decide exactly what network we want to try to get the password from. Now, if we wanted to look up the name of, I don't know, maybe a business that has their business registered, we could look up and find out what the name of the network is for the office. Although in this case, I have simply looked for any network names in a particular area, in this case New York, that are named Honeypot. So here I can find more specific information like the type of security of the network. And in this case, because I don't want to call any companies out specifically, we're just going to use this honeypot network. But you can imagine this to be, I don't know, maybe the Wi-Fi network of like a defense contractor or a government agency or someone who's really important. But honeypot is the example we'll use today. And this is the process you can use to look up the Wi-Fi network name of pretty much any office, school, or business. Okay, so now that we know the name of this, what do we need to do in order to start monitoring and actually try to get the password to this network from somebody nearby who has it stored in their phone? All right, well, let's go over to my terminal window. And first I'm going to run ifconfig. And we can see that I have two wireless cards here, WLAN 1 and WLAN 0 mon. And WLAN 0 mon is already put into wireless monitor mode. So the command for that is sudo airmon ng, and I'm going to actually stop WLAN 0 mon. That should put it back into normal mode. And if I want to then put this into monitor mode again, I can do start WLAN 0, and we're back where we started. So, all right, so we've now put one of the wireless cards into monitor mode. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my Android smartphone to create a network called Honeypot. So let me go ahead and do that. And the first thing I'll need to do is identify exactly what channel this Honeypot network is operating on. So on my phone, I've also set a really long random password for this Honeypot network because I really don't care. I don't know the password, and I really just want devices to recognize the name and connect. So I'll make this lowercase as it was, except for the first character. Okay, so that's up. So now let's do sudo arrow dump ng, and then we're going to put the name of the wireless card, WLAN 0 mon. So as soon as this happens, then we should be able, I'm going to stop that, expand this, rerun it. There we go, now we can see names. And we can see there's a network called Honeypot right here. So we can also see some information about it, such as the fact that it's operating on channel 6. So that's what we are going to focus on for the rest of our investigation. We're going to be going after channel 6 because that's where our fake network is being broadcast. Now you can imagine maybe you're in a coffee shop or something and you are going to be popping up this fake access point and listening for any devices nearby that are trying to connect. So let's go ahead and start listening for this half handshake. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to run sudo arrow dump. And some people might notice I'm already root. I don't need a sudo, but if you're not root, which you shouldn't be, then you will need a sudo. So sudo arrow, actually I'll just go up, sudo arrow dump ng, but this time we're going to add -c and then 6. And that's because we're broadcasting on channel 6, and that's really the only thing we should be listening for. I'm going to do an and symbol, and then I'm going to say Wireshark. So what this will do is it's going to start it's going to set the wireless network card to channel 6, and it should open Wireshark at the same time. There we go, it worked. So let's go ahead and select WLAN 0 mon as the interface that we're listening on, and I'm going to go ahead and open this all the way, and we should be listening on channel 6, and what I want to see is I basically want this beacon right here. So I want to see a beacon frame from the Honeypot network. So we need to write a Wireshark filter right now. And this Wireshark filter is going to allow us to only see traffic going to or from this network. So let's go ahead and pick the transmitter address. We can also pick the source address. These are almost always the same. Right mouse click and click on Apply as Filter Selected. Then I'm going to copy this. So this is everything transmitting from this device, but we actually want to see everything that is being received by it as well. So we're going to add 2 pipe symbols. I'm going to paste this again so we have it spelled out, and then I'm going to put DA. So it should be destination and transmitter. So this should show us everything to and from this particular wireless device. All right, so now that we've written our filter, I'm going to press this to follow along with the stream. And now let's say that I'm a device that's connected before. I'm going to go and I'm going to disconnect from the network I'm on right now, and I'm going to actually simulate what would happen if I were a device that had connected. So I would have that stored somewhere in my phone's memory. Let's say it's password 123. We'll make that the name of our office Wi-Fi. And normally this would be an automatic process, but I want you guys to see that, you know, I'm using an insecure password. And again, on a typical example, the smart device would automatically connect because it already has this information saved. So it's going to connect, and then we should see some ePOL packets. So I'm going to copy this right now. I'm going to cut it actually. Oops. And I'll cancel that because it's not going to be able to connect because we don't know it's not the real network. So I'm going to cut this and type ePOL. And ePOL is basically handshake. So looking here, I can see we actually have a message 1 of 4, message 2 of 4. Since this is a 4-way handshake and we're only looking to do a half handshake attack, this is actually everything we need. We can see that this device actually attempted to connect a number of times. So we should be good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do ePOL and then I'm going to paste my old filter. And the reason I'm going to do this is because in order for me to actually crack this, I'm going to press stop because I have all the information I need. In order for me to crack this, I need to have at least one beacon frame with the name of the network along with the ePOL frame. So if I just save the handshake, but I didn't save any beacon frames, then that actually wouldn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and see, I think it's export specified packets. Oh, actually, no, I guess I can, well, yeah, okay. So I'm going to save this as half handshake hack byte. A little long, but I just want to make sure that, you know, we get it right. So we're going to just pick the displayed packets based on our filters, and we're going to make sure that this is saved as a PCAP file. So let's go ahead and save this. All right, so we're going to go back to our terminal window, and we can probably, hopefully, press Control-C now, and that will close Wireshark and stop the capture and all that. So now we're going to do aircrack-ng. We will need a password list. So I thankfully have a password list right here, which is the RockU password list, very popular. And next, after this, let's make sure, I'm actually going to make sure this is properly spaced. Don't want them running into each other. We need to put our capture last. So this means the capture we just saved, it should be pretty long. There we go, half handshake hack byte, or whatever I saved it as. And then we can just press enter. So this command is aircrackng-w, the name of the password list that we're using to crack, and then the capture that we just saved as a PCAP file. Boom, that was it. Okay, well that didn't take very long at all. Because there was only one network there, it didn't even ask us to specify which one we wanted, and we were able to figure out that this was the password that the device was trying to connect to our fake